Lexaloo automated public toilet unit, manufactured in Auckland, New Zealand, and this is the first one in LA. So we're looking forward to getting you guys underway. Basically, this is a service door entrance. This is a cavity door slider that allows you to enter into the left cubicle. Cavity door slider that allows you to enter into the right cubicle. These are the indicator lights that give you indication as to the status of the unit, whether it's closed, whether it's open, or whether it's occupied, whether somebody's in there using the unit or not. This light will be flashing red if the unit is closed. This will be flashing red as well if somebody's occupying the unit. Typical standard key that allows you into, this is a service bay area. The chirp that you're hearing is an alarm. We have an alarm on the unit. If anybody goes into the unit, you have 10 seconds before the alarm is activated. To turn off the alarm, there's a push button, reset button right beneath the control panel. I have my finger on it. You hold it for 3 seconds, it disengages the alarm. This is a control panel. Everything in here is in this box is the PLC, Programmable Logical Controller. It's the brains behind the APT. Everything that is being controlled is right here through this PLC. We also have a 24 volt, 12 volt power supplies, all your relays, all your your main disconnect switch for the unit. There's also a separate disconnect switch in the electrical room. All your breakers and everything are right here in this control panel. The way that we control things on the unit through the control panel is using this pod. It's basically a touch screen. You can touch the screen to go into most of the menus that you need to make adjustments to the unit, change open and close time settings. You're able to do it in the main menu. How you get into these menus, there's a password button right here. You just punch the button and it's asking for a number. The number is 10. You punch 10 and basically you can get into the supervisor screens that allow you to make adjustments to the units. We typically, for our janitorial crew, we don't give them that password. They really don't need it. It's really for the service and maintenance technicians who can actually go in and make adjustments to the screen. A lot of times your janitorial service crews, people come and go, and we just don't want to give out that information to any and everybody. So just use your discretion when you give that password code. To go into a password screen, you got Unit 1, Unit 2, you can see the heading, you're in the password screen. You can change your time and date displays. Basically 2012, you can go in, modify any of those settings. To back out and go to the previous screen, you just hit F5. Open and close time settings. Right now, it's open. We have it set to open at 5 a.m. We have it set to close at 11 p.m. And again, you can adjust that to however LA Metro sees fit. Also, we have it set to where you can have it on global times. What global times means is that every day the unit will open and close at the same time. If you go to daily times and you hit daily, you go to the next screen and you can set each day to a different time. Even if you have it closing on certain days, say for instance if you want the unit to close on Sunday, you can go in and set every day for whatever time to open, for whatever time you need it to close, and for Sunday you leave it at 0 and it will stay closed on Sundays. So daily times allows you to go in and change times on a daily basis, 7 days a week. Global time is the same time every day, 7 days a week. Out of this for a minute. You have your wash test. You can force it into an automated wash cycle, and I'll get into a little bit of that later. Your voice test, you can push the voice test and it'll run it through all the voice commands and to let you know that everything's working as far as the voice controller. The voice controllers are, you guys definitely going to need to know where these are located. These are these two voice boxes right here, voice control boxes. You can turn the volume up and down on each one of them. We like to leave them up. Sometimes if you're working on a unit or doing something on it, if you're getting tired of hearing the same messages, you can just cut it down temporarily, but we would like for you to, make sure you cut it back on. Again, here's the main disconnect switch. If you ever need to kill the power in the unit for whatever reason, this is your main disconnect for the unit. There's two main disconnectors, one for the unit, and then there's a main disconnect that's in the electrical room, and I'm not exactly sure where that's located. Now, to be able to control the status of the units, we're going to do that with these two buttons right here. I'll go through what all three of these mean, but we'll start out with these two first. Basically, right now they're in normal mode. Normal mode, unlock mode, it's the same thing. These three buttons are for the right unit. These three buttons are for the left unit. When it's in normal mode, it's basically reading whatever time display set that we have it set in the pod on the touch screen. And like I said, right now we have it opening at 5, we have it closing at 11. So as long as it's in unlock normal mode, it's going to read that schedule. If for whatever reason, if somebody needs to lock the unit down, you just turn it to close. Turn this button to close for that right unit. Turn this button that way to close for the left unit. Now, regardless of whatever you have set in the touch screen, it's going to shut the unit down. Say, for instance, if you're having issues with the unit or the toilet stopped up for whatever reason and you need to shut it down or you need to do something to the unit, you put it on close. The other option, you got three options: normal mode, close, and then there's hold open. Basically what hold open means is it's going to hold the door open regardless of who's in the unit, regardless of what you have set on the touch screen. Basically we use this anytime we're cleaning the unit, anytime we're working on the unit. It allows you to be able to go in and out freely without having to worry about the status of the unit or the door opening and closing. It's going to open you. If you're having issues with somebody in the unit and you need to get them out, you put it on hold open, the door will come out. If the door's on hold open and somebody goes in the unit when you're in the service bay doing anything, they cannot close the door. So, that's a good indicator to have right there. The left button is the cubicle wash test. Basically, when we're doing cleaning and servicing of the unit, well, cleaning really, when we have it in normal mode, it's going to read what we have in the touch screen. And that's basically, I can go in and show you, we can basically set the automated wash cycle system to cycle on after so many uses. So let's say, for instance, that we have it set at 30 uses. When it's in normal mode, it'll pick up on what we have in the touch screen. So it'll be every. I accidentally forced it into wash mode. If you accidentally force it into wash mode and you want to abandon the wash mode, you just hold the reset button for about 10 seconds and it'll abandon.
Attention. Please remove obstruction from the doorway. Atención. Favor de remover la obstrucción del marco de la puerta.
It plays music in the restroom?
Yeah, it plays music. Right now I'm going to take the music down a little bit. Yeah, right now it's playing music while it's being active. Okay. To manually turn on the water, the spray nozzles, you can just turn it over to manual. And I don't know, I'm sure you can hear it, I don't know if you can, but basically it's turning on the spray nozzle. If you want to get the floor wet a little bit to be able to go in and scrub the floor, you can manually turn the spray nozzles on using this left button. Using the left button, turning it from normal to manual will automatically turn on the spray nozzles. For whatever reason, if you want to cut the wash cycle off, for whatever reason, if you don't want to wash it down, you turn it off of, you can take it off of no wash. Right now it's on no wash, so it's not going to pick up the automated wash cycle that we have set here. If you turn it on normal wash, it'll pick up what we actually have set in here for however many uses.
This unit is out of service.
Basically,
Please leave this cubicle
and that's
immediately.
basically what it was telling them, that it's getting ready to go into a wash cycle.
Esta unidad está fuera de servicio.
Let me
Por favor,
reset
salga de
this
este
real quick.
cubículo inmediatamente.
These are your solenoid valves for your toilet, for all your water supplies, for the nozzles, for the wash basin. These are your solenoid valves that control it. These are your shut-off valves that controls pretty much all your water supply. You got your main water supplies coming in here. Here's a shut-off valve for it here, and it branches around and goes to each cubicle. You got a hose bib here that you're able to put your hose on if you ever need to pull your hose around to spray the unit down for whatever reason. The exterior, if you got a mess out here in the front, we just provide you a hose bib where you're able to do that. These are your exhaust fans, your what they call extract fans. So basically, typical exhaust fans. When the unit is being occupied, when somebody's in there using the unit, the fans will kick on and they'll stay on up to 10 minutes after somebody has left the cubicle. And we can adjust that time setting however we need to. Exhaust fans. Here's a disconnect for your exhaust fans. You can shut them on and off. These are your speakers for your voice commands. These are your reservoirs for the cleaning cycle. These also have shut-off valves if you need to ever shut these off to replace anything or fix any parts. You can shut off the flow by basically turning your shut-off valves off. But these get filled up. There's an alarm on the screen. It'll let you know for whatever reason that you need to add detergent to the reservoirs. These are your door controllers. Both of these door controllers control the sliding door cavity units. You don't need to mess with these for any other reason. They're already preset. They're good to go. No adjustments need to be made. You might have to replace one maybe once every 3 years. But other than that, you don't need to go in and make any adjustments to the door controller. Basically, to enter into one of the units, just put your hand in front of the door open. Walk into the unit. Like I said, these are slab cavity slider door units. They come equipped with door beams. So if any interruption or any, if anything crosses these beams, the doors will reopen. They won't close fully, so be careful.
Welcome to Resolute.
You can hear the voice command.
Lock doors.
It's telling you, basically walking you through everything you need to do. It says, put your hand over there to close and lock the door.
Door locked. Your maximum use time is 10 minutes. Press button to unlock door.
The door is locked. Some people have concern that if the power goes out, how can you actually get out? There's an electrical magnetic lock. The sensor's actually picking you up. There's an electromagnetic lock inside this panel, and basically when the power goes out, de-energizes itself.
Can we turn the music off?
Yeah. Can you rewind that?
No. I'll record this. They can edit it.
Walk in there and make sure it's on.
Yeah, it's off.
Now we're inside the cubicle. To shut the door, you just put your hand in front of the indicator, closed door indicator sensor. The door shuts. We actually shut the music off, the voice command off, just for recording purposes. But this is your toilet paper dispenser. This is your wash basin. Basically, if you need toilet paper, put your hand over the toilet paper. Here's your toilet paper. Put your hand over the sensor. Gives you toilet paper. To actually change the toilet paper, you have these These are the type of keys that we'll provide you guys with. It holds 2 jumbo rolls. Basically, I'll go ahead and take one out. I'm going to show you guys how to change the roll. So basically, if you wanted to slide a roll on, come across the roller. And put it down into the slot. Button, and it pulls it right through. Shut it back. Right the key. And this is your sanitary disposal, tampons, things of that nature. There's a bin in the back that goes into a stainless steel bin that has a trash can in it, trash compartment in it. You can empty that every day. This is your soap and water hand dryer dispenser. This is the reservoir for the soap dispenser. These are your sensor basin, your sensors. This is your pump. Here's your water heater disconnect, your hand dryer disconnect. This is your point of use water heater right here. These are the sensors, controls for the sensors. There's a little wash station right here. Basically have the same thing over here. You come in, you shut the door. That's all the paper. When you actually activate the water to wash your hands, it automatically flushes the toilet. If you don't wash your hands when you open the door, it'll automatically flush the toilet. So either way, the toilet will get flushed every time after every use. Soap dispenser. Same thing, hand dryer disconnect, water heater disconnect, water heater. This needs to be filled up with soap. You see that's your soap dispenser. Water, hand dryer. These are for your exhaust fans. These are the dryer fan outlets. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 dryer fan outlets. These are your spray nozzles for the floor sprayers. This is another spray nozzle. This is another one right here. This is your sanitary detergent disinfectant spray. It'll actually mist out when it goes into a water cycle. This is an emergency door open button. Somebody actually falls on the floor and they can't reach up and touch this one. There's one to put for emergency cases. Coat rack. Again, I don't know if I mentioned this before. Every once in a while, you have to do minor adjustments on the door. Sometimes people will start kicking the door and it'll get off track or get offline, and you gotta level the door out. You gotta do some minor adjustments to the door. There's 5 security screws. You pull the security panel off, and there's a bolt at the end of the door. You actually gotta close the door, cut the power off, pull the panel off, and you make one minor adjustment right here, a quarter turn each way, or actually either raise or lower the door to get it to where it slides plainly. Stainless steel mirror. I think we covered everything. Inside the indicator control panel, this is what we call, access panel for the indicator lights. Anytime that the unit is down, like I explained to you before, you can manually open and close the doors. What you have to do is, anytime the power is down, I'll go ahead and shut it down. Now I've actually cut the power off to the unit. So, like I was telling you about the electromagnetic locking system that we have on the door, when the power goes out, it disengages that magnetic lock, and you can manually open the door. Now, for any reason, if the power ever goes out to the facility, or they can't get the power back onto the unit, what you need to do is come in and lock the door down to keep people from actually manually opening the door. And how you do that is, I don't actually have a lock. The contractors actually took the locks out for some reason, I don't know why. But you open this panel, access panel, and there's a T-bar that you actually put in here. You slide it in here, and it braces up against the door, and it keeps the door from being able to be open. And I'll try to get those back from Nathan, KPRS. But those are pretty much, we keep them inside. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if you can get a shot of this. It's basically inside the cavity. There's a little hole right there that goes up into the door.
This one right here?
No, back in here. If you can't see with camera, they'll be able to see it when they actually put it in.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Okay. But basically, you install this bar.
Hey, so what does this do?
Actually, anytime that the door is actually, the power's down, and you can manually open and close the door, you don't want, patrons to be able to manually open and close it. If the power's down, you don't want anybody using the unit. So say, for instance, if the power goes out in the entire facility, somebody can actually come in and manually open and close the door. This locking bar allows you to keep that from happening. Basically how it goes. And there you won't be able to manually force the door open. Pop it out, unscrew it, pull it out, and we keep these right here inside the service bay. You actually slide down into the holder right there. Keep security bits in here for you guys. These are snake eye bits. A lot of the screws that we have inside the cubicles that are holding the panels on have these snake eye security bits. We'll keep you a few of these in there. This actually adjusts that nut. It actually levels and it levels the door that I was showing you over the door header, that panel that you pull off, that has the 5 screws in it. This is a great wrench because it's flat. You can actually slide it in there and adjust the door to level it down. Keep these on the top of the control box. The maintenance manual for Xloo right here. Pretty much it describes everything you need to know about the unit, parts, preventive maintenance, scheduled cleanings, you name it, it's in the manual. Manual inside the service bay, located right here. And we keep one in here at all times. If we can get you guys copies, if you guys want to keep them in the office or at LA Metro headquarters, wherever you like, we can definitely provide you more of those. These are the sanitary bins. Just pull it off like that. That's the chute that we saw on the inside. This is the trash can for it. Empty that out on a daily basis. Slide it back over just like that. Again, these are your solenoid valves, all your water supply fixtures, toilets, wash basins, the spray nozzle, and I think that's it.
That's pretty good.